Okay.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Fronis Podcast. My name is Justin Kubek, and with me I have
Rico Camacho.
Before we get too far into things, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really means a lot and helps the channel grow. And of course, we have the 988 Lifeline. Whether you're facing mental health struggles, emotional distress, alcohol or drug use concerns, or just need someone to talk to, their caring counselors are here for you. You are not alone. Call, text, or chat anytime. And for our event this week,
We have the United Way Fill the Bus. So donate school supplies at New Berlin and Waukesha Walmart Supercenters to support local students this new school year. All donations should be dropped off by the Big Yellow Bus located in the front of the Walmart, Saturday, July 19th from 9 to 3. Waukesha, New Berlin Walmart Supercenters. More information will be in the description.
And for today's topic, I wanted to talk about something that means a lot to me. And by means a lot to me, I mean I wove this into the fabric of Kindred and Furonis and my entire business.
Oh, okay.
It's just this idea that taking care of yourself, but in the physical sense, that self-care aspect takes care of yourself internally too. It helps your mental health out. Everything from brushing your teeth, or if you're into it, painting your nails,
Well, and I love this because again, this goes back into the whole concept from my definition of finding yourself. This is the way to find yourself. It is not through another person. It's not even through anything external from people ask what your passion is. Well, I'm passionate about, I don't know, like reading. Well, that's great. You can be, but that can change. You could lose your passion for reading. You can lose the big one is sports. How many athletes are super passionate about their sport until they tear their ACL or anything like that?
Of course.
Then next thing you know, it's hard. You can still be passionate about it because if you truly are passionate about something, like for an example, a sport, if you can't play it anymore, then maybe you do coaching.
Right, you find a way to get involved with it somehow.
So,
one of my passions is reptiles, and I've not always been in a place where I can keep reptiles where I live. And that's one of the big reasons why I gotten into volunteering with reptile education groups, because it kind of scratched that itch. I couldn't directly have my own pet snake, but I could, get that interaction, elsewhere.
But those are the things that are fun in life.
Oh yeah.
However, if you follow your passion should be something you find internally that helps you feel good. And at some point, it may no longer be your passion. Maybe you switch from reptiles to felines. I don't know, like
I switched from reptiles to beard oil.
There you go, big beard oil.
I mean, I'll get back to the snakes, but
I was talking about other animals. But I mean, sure, if you want to go from reptiles to beard oil.
If we're talking passions, we moved from. I helped co-found a group called Reptile Education Through Contact, and I've volunteered with the Milwaukee Zoo and had a recurring show at the Betty Burns Children's Museum for a while.
That's pretty cool.
And life took me in a different direction. I wasn't able to participate as much as I'd like to, or be involved as much as I'd like to. And so I had to find another outlet to put that passion.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's okay to change.
Right. And Furonis was born.
Right. And it's interesting, he didn't use a reptile, he used a bear. Mm-hmm. Even more fascinating. So even though his passion may be reptiles, still there's other ideas and concepts you love.
Have I ever told you how the bear came to be?
You did, but I think you should share it.
All right. So Furonis is a conjunction of a Latin phrase, which is feren onus, meaning I will bear the burden. And bear is right there in the name. So that's where it came from.
I love it.
I wish it was more complicated.
Yeah, or he could have done a snake or I don't know, a lizard or something, but It just the bear called him. So my point is that everything external outside of yourself can be fun and permission slips for what you enjoy. However, at the end of the day, I really like the self-care. It's not just pampering yourself, it's learning about yourself.
Right.
Learning about yourself, and the biggest thing, as I've always said, is we're a communal species, is you learn best through others. So You learn best by interacting with others. So those people that say, I don't like anybody, I'm just gonna hide in the corner. You can do that. Nobody's arguing that.
Right.
It's just a matter of you're losing a big part of the passion of life.
I'm going to go off on a little tangent.
By all means, I've gone off on enough.
When I was in high school, my senior year, we had a motivational speaker come in, and he spoke at a pep rally and got us all amped up about the next steps of life and everything that was coming for us.
You're all going to be millionaires.
Exactly. All those great things. But he's the person that got me interested in public speaking.
Oh, very cool.
And, I'd like to be a motivational speaker eventually, but his speech really resonated with me, except for one part. I think it was delivered to the wrong audience. And I think motivational
Kind of like Chris Farley and A Man Down by the River. If you guys get that, you are awesome. If you don't, you're way too young. Yeah, see, he's laughing. He gets it. Anyway, that's the first thing I think of when I think of motivational speaker. Chris Farley.
That's fantastic.
Now we're not going to know what we were talking about because all you can think of is A Man Down by the River. I can't do it.
I love it.
Okay.
We'll have to get you a code, too.
Okay, so you were saying high school motivational speaker.
Right. I'm fairly certain that's a pretty typical thing for seniors in high school to have a motivational speaker come in to give them a little pep talk. But I think it would be better to have that motivational speech at the end of 8th grade before you go into high school. Because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what high school is supposed to be. People focus on the social part, and of course that's what the media focuses on too. But I think one of the biggest missed opportunities amongst high schoolers is not trying enough things.
I like
right?
that.
They're focused on what friends are in what class, and they want to make sure that they're staying with their circle, and that's fine and great. But you won't know if you like cooking until you take home ec. You won't know if you like graphic arts until you take graphic arts. You're not going to know you like welding unless you took metals, And if we don't expose ourselves to those things, how are we going to know what we like? And then you get to your senior year and you got to pick where you're going to college or a trade school or what have you. And if you didn't take the last 4 years to start figuring out what your interests are, what your passions are, what you want to do for the rest of your life, then you're probably pigeonholed into something you don't like.
And this demonstrates our educational system. I feel that I love STEM. Sorry, I got to be very careful. I think reading, writing, and arithmetic is very important. I think science, technology, engineering, and math are vital skills. They are. Not going to argue. But I think you brought up an absolutely gigantic point in our education system that we miss. We try, but I think in the processes and systems that we've created since schools were incepted in the 1900s, that we struggle for exploration. We struggle for that. I mean, we cut programs. I mean, we're cutting schools in Waukesha. Let's be real. Let alone programs. And I mean, you can argue finances because we don't have enough kids, and I get that. However, finding ways to become explorative is again going back to what I said about, the motivational speakers and things like that, because you're right. I feel like we need to have more fun learning new things. That's where innovation is. I remember in, the 60s and 70s with, 1969 when we landed on the moon. I mean, that was huge. That was so exciting. I know we've kind of, that whole space exploration and where we are in the universe has kind of fallen to the wayside on some of the national media, and I think that going back to just the basics of high school, we should celebrate these explorations and things that are different as opposed to, you failed your math test.
Right.
Why don't you know the quadratic formula? Now, the quadratic formula is important. It can be, because to be in NASA, you need to know math and this, that, and the third, so it's a skill. However, it's the explorative concept of what is it that we want, what are my passions? What do I like to do now? Right. And let's keep going with it.
And if you can't get those outlets through school, I mean, there's YouTube University, just YouTube. You can learn just about whatever you'd like there. But there's places like Coursera, and I know Google offers online certificates for free. And
I love that, but I'm going to actually interrupt you because I think that moving away, we learn best when we're in a group.
Oh, absolutely. But, it's kind of any port in a storm, right? If that's what your option is,
right,
then that's what you do. If that's what the budget allows for, or if maybe you don't drive or whatever.
What might happen? Right.
But I think that's where a lot of kids miss out. I mean, when I graduated high school, I want to say the average number of times that a college kid in Wisconsin changed their major before they graduated was like 10 or 11.
I changed my major 4 times, and then I completely switched careers after my master's.
I went to school for computer science, switched to communications, dropped out of that school and went to CTC for marketing and entrepreneurship, and then dropped out of that school. Now I'm here.
Yeah, I did, God, history, women's studies, public relations, marketing, and then went to education. Like, I have so many different avenues. Oh, I was in a bio major at one point. Thought about being a psychiatrist.
All right. You know, with my background in reptile education, I actually have enough hands-on experience in private reptile zoos to qualify to be a zookeeper at the Milwaukee Zoo without a 4-year degree.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, but that's what I'm talking about. Like these different paths. So I agree with you that we should talk about how do we get kids to really explore what they love to do.
Mhm.
You know, and I get it. You need a history class. You need like we have these mandatory, and it's nothing wrong with having these type of classes that we need. But how do we expand?
You know what I think it is? I don't want to say simple because I could understand on the administration side of things, the logistics would get pretty messy. But giving kids like a 30-day window on electives. If you don't like this elective, you can drop it and switch to something else.
Yeah. No, you know what's interesting? I think there needs to be I just don't think there needs to be a huge system because that's actually what happens.
Oh.
You do have time to change it. The issue comes in that is 30 days enough? And then is the logistical stuff behind it? So so the 60th day, I don't like this,
Right.
but so now you're already 60 days into the semester. So now what? You know, and so it goes back to, you know, how do you find your passions? And let's bring it full circle back to self-care benefits is that's part of self-care is understanding what you want to do in this moment that you are and knowing it's okay to change your mind. Because I think sometimes people are like, well, I can't change my mind now. It's too late. They worry about it. Where you hear the greatest stories in the history of stories are the people that change their mind too late.
Well, it's like the way people talk about science. You know, and I've heard people get upset when science changes their answer on something. But it's like, as a species, we learned that we were wrong. So now we
Wait, the Earth isn't flat? I'm
Careful
kidding.
where you say
It was
that.
a joke. It was a joke. The Earth is round. I swear to God, I'm sorry. It was a joke.
Maybe.
No.
Jury's out.
Oh my
But anyway,
God.
we've talked a lot about, you know, how to do self-care and, you know, more than just the pampering side of things. I think it would also be important to talk about why to do these things. You know, what
Well,
kind of benefits we can see.
And I want to
come
add
from it.
something too, but I want to
Okay.
go into that. But what I'd like to add is I would love, so we have, let's see, right now we have 5 practicing self-care benefits. To reduce and stress anxiety, take time for yourself, mobility, tea rituals, unplugging, boost self-esteem and confidence, prioritizing your well-being, reinforces the belief that you're worth time and effort. And then there's 5 that we can put in the description. But one thing is I'd love is if you guys would add and actually tell us, what do you do for self-care?
Yeah.
Like, how do you, because this is only 5, like strengthen relationships, as I was talking, where communal society, enhance focus and mental clarity, improve emotional resilience. So when you are angry, understanding yourself, as we've talked about in previous episodes. But I want to know, like, what type of things do you guys do? Because I'm actually curious as to, because these 5 items are just a drop in the bucket for what
Oh,
people need to do.
Yeah.
You know, and since we all are our own individuals, even though we're communal, we are our own individuals and have our own, you know, emotions and definitions and perspectives within that. You know, especially me being in politics, that's one thing I've learned, and I've gotten a plenty of discussions regarding. I've learned that the meaning of politics is just opinions. People are like, no, there are facts. I mean, sure, I guess. And the reason I say that is because if you look at it, you can take, so there were, I mean, one of my favorite things is votes.
Mhm.
Somebody will analyze, so yes, I did get 888 votes. That's a number we all can agree on. It's
Not contested.
a fact, I
Yeah.
guess you can say. But you can look at why I got that many from 852 billion different angles. and it's.
Is that an exact number?
Yeah, exactly. It's an exact number. No, but like in politics, and then you have opinions based on the budget. You have opinions based on how it should run.
Mm-hmm.
Even what I was just talking about in education, that was all my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just is.
I just had a revelation.
Well, by all means.
On a previous episode, we talked about the idea that things just are. They aren't inherently good or bad.
Correct.
Right? We assign that value to things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not what politics is? It's just dedicated people to decide what's good and bad?
Well, not good and bad, but how.
But they're putting those labels on it. This budget, I don't like it. This plan, I like.
But I like what you said. I don't prefer it. I don't like it. It's not like it's right or wrong. Because there's no right or wrong, because guess what? We won't really know. So let's say somebody makes a budget decision. Well, in 20 years, maybe we'll know if it was right or if it was wrong, or maybe not. Actually, I saw this movie with Tom Hanks once. It was about a senator, and I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I love Tom Hanks, but I never saw that movie.
It was so good. Of course it was good. It was Tom Hanks. That does.
Catch Me If You Can pops in my head.
No, yeah, but it wasn't
But it's
that.
not that.
It was a senator, and basically it was about the gist of it was there was an issue going on in Afghanistan, and he sent guns. He got the United States government to send guns to Afghanistan. Well, eventually, ISIS kind of came out, and if you don't know our history, 9/11 occurred, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was this part where, oh God, he was an actor that passed away, but also very, very good, and I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But anyway, Tom Hanks' character, the senator, said, well...
You keep going, I'm going to look this up.
Okay, yeah, please. Tom Hanks senator movie, and then it's going to just pop, because now he's Googling it. Anyway, not looking for it, he's Googling, not researching, he's Googling. Anyway, so the point is that what the guy said is the story. Don't quote me on the story, because I don't remember it, but I remember the gist of it.
Charlie Wilson's War.
That's it, Charlie Wilson's War. Who's the other actor? It's...
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That's it, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And Julia Roberts.
Oh, yeah, she was in it. But I don't remember her. That's weird.
I didn't see the movie at all.
Yeah. I had a crush on her growing up, so I don't know why I don't remember that. Anyway, so who didn't, though? But, so anyway, the point is what he said is there was a story of this father and this daughter. And the story goes, because Philip Seymour Hoffman told Tom Hanks' character in the movie, basically, the father bought a pony for his daughter, or a horse. And the daughter was super excited, right? Then she took it out for a ride, and she fell off and broke her arm. Oh no, got it fixed. Her arm got fixed. She ended up selling the horse as she got older because she didn't want to be on the horse anymore for a couple $1 million and became a millionaire. Well, that was great. Well, then she ended up becoming a drug addict or something with all her money and throwing it all away. So the question is, was buying the horse a good idea or not? It caused happiness sometimes with the money and with getting a horse, but did it cause drug addiction or the broken arm?
Right.
I don't know. Again, so I highly recommend Charlie Wilson's War. Everybody loves Tom Hanks.
I'll have to go watch that.
That's great. But anyway, it is inappropriate for children, just so you're aware, especially the opening scene. Please do not. But anyway, the point is...
Oh, yeah, that is rated R.
It's rated R.
Yeah.
But the point is that I feel as though, we always don't know what an outcome of something is. So going back to the whole political concept of this is, and that's actually why, again, self-care is very important, because you're going to have to realize no matter what decision you make, you're going to make people angry, you're going to make people happy. It doesn't matter. Staying true to yourself and your self-care is the best thing you can do.
And I've written about this on the blog too, not specifically giving it this context, but it's a principle that you can apply to this context. The article is called the Schoolhouse Beach Principle. And if you don't know, in Door County, just north of Door County, we have Washington Island. And on Washington Island, we have a beach called Schoolhouse Beach. It's one of 5 beaches in the world like it. There is no sand. It is all limestone rocks that are perfectly smooth and about the size of your palm. Perfect for skipping rocks on a beach or on a lake or something like that.
Sounds like fun.
What you'll notice, other than the lack of sand, is that the rocks kind of go a little ways into the woods and then eventually mix with like dirt and whatnot, and then you get pavement and the road and you leave. If you look at pictures from 60, 70, 80 years ago of Schoolhouse Beach, the rocks used to go like 2 or 3 times further than they go now. And the reason why that is because tourists would take a rock home with them as a souvenir. every time they went. And it wasn't until I want to say, mid 70s that they put a city ordinance where you get fined if you take a rock. And now they actually receive rocks in the mail every once in a while. A relative will die, and they'll find them and they'll mail them back to the beach.
Oh, that's
But the idea behind it is, those people that were going to Washington Island as a tourist destination and taking a memento home with them to remember that happy memory and that trip, now they just robbed that beach from the world.
What it was meant for.
And it was one of 5 beaches in the world like it. Now it's permanently disfigured. Now it's still gorgeous, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of rocks, but it's still not what it used to be.
And who knows? Maybe them taking that caused it to develop into something better. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll never know until we know.
Yeah.
And so that's part of living in the present moment and stuff like that we even talk about with enhancing focus and mental clarity is focusing on the present moment, which is still a concept we all are working on. Trust me.
And just looking at the time, we're at the end of it.
All right.
Thank you for being here. And we really do appreciate you taking your time to watch this or listen, if that's what you
Yeah, either way.
Don't forget to comment down below. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, still want to know what you guys do for your own self-care. So please remember to post for us. That'd be great. Thank you.